Oh, yeah, I knew it. My Zoom went bye-bye, of course, so forgive me, folks. I'll have to go right back to where I was just a little before. But what I was saying was it's really testing the audience's psyche, right? We are, respecting our audience. Hopefully you can hear me. There we go. Respecting our audience by encouraging them to use all of their capacity and all of what they're capable of intellectually. Or, at the very least, educating them so they can do so, right? Vigorous introspection is what we are, promoting here. Okay, so, yeah, the film deliberately withholds confirmation, so the audience has to decide for themselves. Okay? So what does this film suggest about grief and reality? Well, the reality of grief and reality. That's one of the biggest points here. Sorry, my teaching points aren't always up to par. I was in a hurry last night trying to gather up this script and get some points to teach for it. So anyway, here we go. Towards the conclusion of this film, it becomes harder to determine whether this man is in fact her little boy or not, that she had lost 30 years ago. 30 years ago! It's a long time. But it's furthering the idea that's intentional. See, we did this intentional because it's furthering the idea that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether this homeless man is her long-lost son or not. It doesn't matter. Love is the greatest force on earth, far more enduring than hatred. That is a quote from Clint Eastwood in his movie J. Edgar Hoover movie that he made. I'm not sure if he wrote that line or someone wrote that line. Great line. Love is the greatest force on earth, far more enduring than hatred. Which just wrapped together what I'm talking about. This is a connection with a mom and this man, and that's her son. It doesn't matter if it really is her son or not. This woman has been alone, hurting, and in pain, and here is a supernatural connection from someone she least expected. And this is divine intervention happening. I think it's a beautiful thing. So then that takes us into some deeper thoughts here. Hear that all right? We're live? Sometimes these microphones, they go out. Don't even get me started, folks, at Oregon State University. The microphones over there, oh my goodness. Had quite the time. These are actually pretty nice. This is a nice microphone. I think you can hear me pretty well. Love, right? Love is the greatest force. That's one of the deeper concepts. Now, I'm going to introduce a teaching principle here that's really going to help your script writing. And I've been kind of hinting about it. I've been dancing around it pretty well. So it's going to be easy to understand now that I've kind of laid the groundwork. But what I teach a lot in my screenwriting class in this film lecture series is a thing we like to call spiritual residue. Spiritual residue. Okay? Spiritual residue. Okay, what is spiritual residue, right? Well, let me explain. One of the big components of this thing we call spiritual residue is metaphysical love. Okay? The metaphysics of love. Okay? What the hell is metaphysical love, Graham? Well, let me explain it to you. Metaphysical love is a divine, universal, and non-physical force that transcends personal, selfish attraction. Okay? A divine, universal, and non-physical force that transcends personal, selfish attraction. Okay? It's unconditional. It's selfless. This is not because, this is not, let's see, how can I word this for you? Well, here, let's put it this way, right? You guys, when you watch movies and stuff, most people, too, when you know love, especially in films specifically, you know love as romantic, familial, transactional, right? You know love as transactional, romantic. Okay, we're not talking about that. That's not metaphysical love. Metaphysical love, this is not love because someone is here. This is love that remains even when someone is gone, has moved on, has died, has passed away. This is a love that exists beyond death. This is a love that exists beyond identity. This is a love without confirmation. Love is no longer something she feels, the mom, right? Love is no longer something mama feels because he's there. It becomes something that she chooses even when it makes no sense. It becomes something that she chooses even when it makes no sense. Because it's metaphysical love. It's supernatural love. It can't be explained. It can't be explained. And so that's a big component of spiritual residue. Okay? Spiritual residue is the enduring, spiritual, emotional imprint left behind by someone which continues to guide, strengthen, and shape the living. Okay? In the realm of metaphysical love, spiritual residue is that of which what someone left behind after they died, if you will. Okay? And it's love, really. It's unconditional love is what it is. But spiritual residue for... I struggle with explaining this because I know a lot of people aren't very spiritual. They don't believe in hippie-hoppy, superstitious stuff. That's fine. Why do you go to college, right? Because you're intellectual, right? So let me put it this way. For those of you who are not very spiritually minded, spiritual residue is what makes the choice. Okay? Spiritual residue is what makes that choice meaningful instead of delusion. Okay? Metaphysical love cannot be fully understood through objectivity alone. You can analyze love up the wazoo, but you can't fully understand it without experiencing something beyond analysis. Okay? Think of your grandma or your parents or someone that really, really, really loves you, right? How are you gonna? You can analyze that love. You can write it down. You can do all these things, but you will never fully understand it without experiencing something that's beyond analysis. It's a phenomenon that it's not just this thing that whatever. Call it spiritual. Call it psychological, call it existential, call it whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter, because there's a layer of human experience that data alone can't explain. And even beyond that, guys, come on. We need to normalize not needing proof for allowing meaning. Okay? We don't need proof for allowing meaning. If you learn anything today, please take that home. You do not need proof to allow meaning in your life. So that's, I think that's actually all I have for you today. But that's our story, not Voracity. And what makes this script so impactful is spiritual residue. It's that beautiful spiritual residue. So, thanks for coming to class, folks. I hope you can go home with something that you learned today. I'm talking with the administration people, this will be on Canvas. So, for the Zoomers will get it on Canvas first, but I will make sure to get you guys that link as well. Because I'm a visitor, I don't have it necessarily. There's a weird process I have to go through in Canvas because I can't incorporate Oregon's Canvas that I have at Oregon State University. I can't use that Canvas over here. I think it's because of state lines. I don't know. It's a pain in the ass, I'll tell you what. But we'll figure it out, folks. We'll make sure that you can take home some of this stuff. But the notes that you have, I'm glad I saw some of you taking notes. That's good, This is something to meditate on. This is incorporating spirituality into creative writing. That's how you become a successful creative writer, is you use spirituality. It's like using all 5 of your senses. And if you're only using 4 of your senses, then yeah, you're not going to necessarily do great at whatever you're working on. I mean, you can, but why not use everything at your disposal? That's the way I try to look at it. So there you go, folks. Graham Smith. Feel free to talk after class if you want, and hopefully we do this again. Hopefully I have another class here soon. I am talking to the people, and we're scheduling it out, so hey, we'll see what happens. But thank you again for everyone showing up, and until next time, stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. Yes. Yeah. Well. Oh. Yeah. Here. Let me give you a diagram, because this metaphysical love stuff it's kind of hard to understand without a. I use a diagram. That's what I do. Yeah. So here, let me show you. Yeah. You just take this one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. So what I do is I kind of consecutively make a system.